Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this section of the course, you are going to learn Excel basics and advanced Excel keyboard shortcuts. So without wasting time, let's dive right into it. So as you can see here, there is a lot that we need to work on, a lot to change. So here, first of all, we want to change the font size in this entire sheet. So to do that, I will just scroll down here and I'll press Control A. And if you press Control A, that will highlight the entire sheet. So, and to change the font type and size, we are going to press Alt H F on our keyboard, and that will help us to change our font. And now we want to change the font size. So to change the font size, we are going to press Alt H F S, and here we can type in 10. So that's the font type and size that we need. So we have chosen, for the font we chose Arial, and font size we chose font size 10. Now we want to change the color of the font, right? So to change the color of the font in this entire sheet, we are also going to press Control O, because we want to make changes for the entire sheet. And here we are going to press Alt H F C, and that will open up where we can change the color. So I choose black, and as you can see, now we have changed our colors to black. Right, so now we come to row 1, and in row 1 we want to add the fill color. So I want to add my favorite fill color here. So what I would do is, in some cases you may want to highlight that. You can highlight like this, or if you want to highlight specific parts, you can just use your selection cursor and drag that to highlight like this. But I don't feel comfortable using the mouse to do all this, so I would rather use keyboard shortcuts. So here I'll hold down Shift on my keyboard and press the right arrow until I get to column J, and then here I will press Alt H, and that will open up the colors that we want. So I will choose this blue here, and as you can see that now what the text here is not visible, it's in black, and we have chosen a dark color as well, which is blue, and these colors don't blend well. So here let's repeat what we've done. Hold down Shift on your keyboard, let's highlight that. Let's press the right arrow until you get to column J, and then press Alt H F C on your keyboard and choose the white color. And as you can see, now the text is visible, and is visible in front of the background that we just added the fill color. So here I want to bold important sections on this income statement. First, I need to bold the revenue. So here I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard, and then I'll press the right arrow, and then I'll press Control B on my keyboard. And as you can see here, this is now in bold, and I also want to bold cost of goods sold. So hold on Shift on my keyboard, I press the right arrow up until I get to 2022. I'll press Control B to bold that, and I also want to bold gross profit, and I'll Control B, and here I also want to bold operating expenses. So I'll just have to highlight, hold down Shift and press the right arrow, and then press Control B. And here I also want to bold this, so I'll just do the same and hold on Shift, press the right arrow, Control B, hold on shift, right arrow, control B, hold on shift, control arrow, hold on shift, right arrow, and then control B, and then here just control B, and that's it. So before we start using some functions to add, we just want to format this data. So as you can see, we just want to add some decimal places, something like that. So here I will have to highlight that. So hold on shift, control, press the right arrow, and press the downward arrow, downward arrow, downward arrow, downward, 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 and press down, right, and then press control 1. So here we are going to choose number, and we use the separator, and here we choose this one, or we may just choose this one with all the negatives are labeled red and are in brackets, and click OK. There we have it. Right, so here what we need to do right now is, let's just delete that. So to just highlight and then press delete. So let's just add here. So let's use the sum function. So we use the sum function, and then so let's use the sum function. We highlight that, hold on shift, close the parenthesis, and then press control enter on your keyboard. And then here you can choose to drag here to copy the formula to the right like this. And I'm also going to show you another cool way that you can use to copy the formula to the right. So here let's use let's just add this. So a positive and a negative adding each other here, so like this. So to copy the formula to the right, first you need to hold down shift on your keyboard and press the right arrow to highlight this, and on your keyboard press Control R. So Control plus R will copy the formula to the right. And here let's just add this. Let's just add gross profit plus other income, right? And then let's just hold on shift, press the right arrow to highlight up to 2022, and then press Control plus R or Control R. And then once you have copied the formula to the right, press Control B to bold that. And now we need to add a top border. So here to add a top border, just hold on shift, press the right arrow to highlight this row, and then on your keyboard press Alt HBP, and that will add a top border. The same we are going to do here, or here now, since the formulas have now been filled, or the numbers are now filled, just hold on shift, control, and press the right arrow, and then Alt HBP, and that will add the top border. And let's just come up with let's just add the operating expenses total. So let's just press tab and then highlight like this, and then hold on shift and press the closing parenthesis, then Control enter, and then hold down shift, highlight until you get to 2022, and then press Control R on your keyboard, and that will copy the formula to the right. So here just press the equal sign to start the formula, and then let's just add that by total expenses, right? And hold on shift, press the right arrow, and then press Control R on your keyboard. Let's add a top border. So to add a top border, you press Alt HBP, and that will add the top border. So here let's just sum this up like this. Let's just copy the formula to the right. So Alt HBP to add the top border, and here we want EBIT. So what we can do is we can say this, and then we say sum, or we can just use the sum function. So we can say sum, we open the parenthesis, and then we can sum all this up. So like this, now we get EBIT. So we can copy it to the right and then add the top border, Alt HBP, and then here we can say this plus the tax expenses, and then we copy this to the right, and then Alt HBP to add the top border. Let's say we want to add the top border and a double bottom border as well. So here we can press Alt HBU. So as you can see, we now have got a top border and a double bottom double bottom border right here. So now we want to add a space here. We want to add some space, even 2 rows. So what you can do here, you can highlight. So there are 2 ways to do it. So here you can either use your mouse to highlight this. So use your cursor to highlight this, and then press right click and then insert, and that will insert 2 rows on top. But let's just press Ctrl Z to undo this, and let's just start here. So here let's just, so you can just highlight that, and you can press insert, and you can highlight like this, you can cut, you can come here, and you can paste, right, which is fantastic, which is cool. So right, this is great, but there's also another way to do this. So let me just press Ctrl Z, and then press escape to close the formula there. So here I will just hold on shift on my keyboard, or press the right arrow, the downward arrow twice, and then I'll press Alt H I R, and that will open up 2 rows on top of cost of goods sold. And then here I'll just hold on shift on my keyboard, and then I'll press the right arrow until I get to 2022, and then on my keyboard I'll press Ctrl X, and then I will also paste that Ctrl V, just like that. So as you can see, we now have got space, that is 2 rows above revenue. So this is fantastic, this is cool. And now what we need to do is to compute some ratios, right? So we've got the gross profit margin. So to compute the gross profit margin is computed as gross profit divided by revenue, or total sales. So here we are going to divide that by revenue, and right, we hold on shift on our keyboard and then press the right arrow, and then press Ctrl R to copy the formula to the right. And let's just do the same for net earnings. We divide net earnings by revenue, that is also called net profit, and then we copy that to the right. So here let's just hold on shift control downward arrow and press the right arrow, and then on your keyboard press Alt H P, and to add decimal places on these percentages you can press Alt H 0, Alt H0. Let's say you want 3 decimal places, but you have changed your mind, you now want 2 decimal places. Hold on shift control downward arrow and then press the right arrow, and here to remove the 3rd decimal place press Alt H9, and that will get you to 2 decimal places. So this is great. And let's say you may want to italize this, so hold on shift control downward arrow, shift control right arrow, and you can press Ctrl I just to italize this. So this is great. And here, let's see how you can insert a new column. I've shown you how to insert a new row. Now I want to show you how to insert a new column. So to insert a new column, all you need to do is you have to press Alt-HIC, and that will give us a new column. So we don't want this column, by the way, so let's just delete it. So to delete that, all you need to do is Alt-D and then C. That will delete that column. So let's just add one more row there. So Alt-HIR, let's just delete that, Alt-HDR, and that will delete the row. Right, so I think we've covered much ground, but now there's one more thing that is pissing me off. If I'm trying to scroll down here, you can see that I can't even tell which year these figures are under, right? So we want to, so sometimes you may want to just freeze the top row, right? So like you just want to freeze the top row so that when you scroll down, you know, you can see the years in which these figures appear under, right? So to do that, to just freeze the top row, let me just come here. I just want to freeze the top row. So Alt-WFF, and that will freeze the top row. So as you can see, even if I scroll down, you can even tell that the gross profit margin for 2018 was 18.05%, and that is cool. But if I scroll to the right like this, all of these numbers are hidden, but I don't want them to be hidden. So how can I freeze the row and the column at the same time? So I have to undo as well the freezing of the top row. So here I'll press Alt-WFF, and then I come here just in F2, cell F2, and then I will also press Alt-WFF, and that will freeze column A to E, and also the top row, such that even if I scroll, okay, I think it's still acting up, but let me just undo again, because we want a situation where we can scroll down. I think it still makes sense. That's it. Even if I scroll here, you can see this content is hidden here, which is exactly what I want, because sometimes I may have many years here, so I also want that, so which is great. So even if the data is hidden, I can still see these rows as well. So basically this is it. And one more thing, we need to add we need to label these years, because right now we don't know whether these are forecast or historical numbers. So to label this, just hold on Shift on your keyboard, press the right arrow until you get to 2022, and then press Ctrl+1, and that will open up the control panel or the formatting panel, and click Custom and choose this 0 here, and just here hold on Shift and press the double quotes, and then write H and then close quotes and press OK. So as you can see, now if we send this file to someone, they can easily tell that these are historical numbers, right? So which is fantastic, which is great. So I think we've covered the ground here. So let's say you want to remove the grid lines, right? And sometimes you may have difficulty to do that. So the way to remove the grid lines is you have to press on your keyboard Alt-W and then press VG, and that will remove the Excel grid line.